Inventing any religions. When you look, it's always interesting to look at the Bible to see which is the oldest profession. And as those who say, it's really my wife, who was the management consultant, because that was Jethro giving advice to his son-in-law. But so way back, they hadn't invented clergy, they hadn't invented churches or synagogues. So some people say if you go way back, you get a slightly more pristine sense. And when I look at scripture, I tend to look in different ways. A little piece, gets very expansive, which when you look up at this sky, goes that way. And a little piece gets very precise and pedantic to look at the grammar. So when you look at Genesis 1, at the creation of humanity, there's a little grammatical problem. It says, God said to the angels, come on, let's create this human critter. And the little rabbinic legend says the angels all said, no, don't do it. It's a really bad idea. They're going to fight with each other. They're going to tell lies. They're going to do God knows what, and God, you really know what that means. Just don't. And so God said to the angels, look, you guys, you behave really well. But why do angels behave well? Like any of our, because they have no choice. They have no free will. They're hardwired. If they're the angels who are meant to sing praises, that's what they're created to do. They're hardwired. It's all they can do. God said, you have no idea what freedom is about. So God said, Naseh Adam b'tzalmenu, let us make this human being, this Adam, this creature of earth, in our image. And then it says, Vayas Elohim oto. And so God created this oto, this single entity. There was only one. The grammar is singular. Then it says, Zachar u'nekeva bara otam. They were created, both male and female. So this odd thing, how did one suddenly become two? And if anybody remembers Sunday school, where did the whole masculine-feminine thing come from? There was Adam, the whole Eve thing, and the stolen rib. So what does it mean that there was a male and female in Genesis 1? One way of understanding it is that the first human being created was really a hermaphrodite. And that evolved separately into Genesis later. But that the first human being was really a complete entity in some way. Solitary, alone, and intended to be that way. And who knows how many millions of years Genesis 1 hung out there all on its own. And it might have been very complete, but we don't know anything because nothing interesting happened. Ultimately, you can talk to yourself a little bit, but it tends not to go anywhere. So there were two stages that really kicked human history in. One was the Garden of Eden, where this single entity really became a partnership. And even the Garden of Eden ultimately wasn't going anywhere. And so humanity had to get kicked out of the garden to really become what human beings were meant to be and to find our way through the world. There's a tiny little echo that comes back in a rabbinic teaching about weddings. There's a traditional thing in Jewish liturgy for weddings that says, this couple here, may they be blessed like your original creations in the Garden of Eden. The idea was that the first ever chuppah, the first ever canopy, wasn't any artificially woven thing. It said that God spread out the heavens as the canopy for the first ever wedding. And that the choir who sang whatever the wedding songs were the choirs of all the angels who said, don't do it. So the two of you should have the blessing. First of all, one in the eye to all the angels. And God was right, they were wrong. Creating humanity was worthwhile. And really, as that poem said, in the quiet moments, hear the little echoes of the angels who are really out there singing for whoever has their ear tuned to just the right celestial frequency to pick up on those choirs of angels.